Welcome to the Baton Rouge Regional for the Women's NCAA Tournament. As we continue talking with Jackson State, we're pleased to be joined by head coach Tomekia Reed. Her Jackson State team, 23-6, 18-0 in the SWAC play. They've won 21 straight. That's the longest winning streak in the country, and making their second straight tournament appearance. For those here in person, once again, we remind you, raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. If you're joining us via Zoom, if you'll raise your hand on the Zoom call, we will come to you once we take care of the in-person questions. Coach, as I told you, players, I know you're familiar with Baton Rouge, coming to play on the Bluff, so welcome back.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your on making it to your second straight tournament, and I'll give you the floor to make an opening comment before we open it up to questions.
Awesome. Just really excited to be here. My team has done a phenomenal job this season. We had a tough run in preseason, obviously going 1-5 in preseason, really close in those games. Everybody looked at us and celebrated that with moral victories. And that was a point that we really wanted to win those games. As you build a program, after you win championships each year, you want to do something different. And having national prominence, national attention, winning those big games was something that was really important to us. And nevertheless, we were on a journey to get back here to the NCAA tournament after having such a poor showing on last year against Baylor. The first thing I said after the game to the team was, we will be back. And we did that. My staff did a phenomenal job in recruiting a really good team with Power 5 players, high mid-major players, and just really getting them to gel early in the season and to all get on one accord was all a part of this journey. And here we are now, longest winning streak in the country, passing a great Stanford, and now getting ready to face a really good LSU. I'm just extremely ecstatic and very proud of my ball team.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
You faced Kim Mulkey last season. What's one thing that you kind of saw last year, and what are you expecting from a different Kim Mulkey-led team this season?
Kim is a winner. She's a winner. She's a go-getter. She's extremely feisty, a lot of intensity, very passionate. And all of those characteristics lead to championship programs. And she instills that into her team. She inherited a lot of her players. And, you see players that are different players this year compared to what they were last year. She just brings out the best in her team. She's brought that winning mentality over to LSU. She's going to have her team playing tough. She's going to have them being aggressive. They've set out after losing in the SEC tournament. So they have been resting, and they are ready. And so I just think that we'll see a really good, tough team. And Kim is just a phenomenal coach that I have looked up to for a long time. She's a coach that don't let up. Obviously, last year against Baylor, she didn't let up on us. So that's the type of person that she is. She's a hard-nosed, go-getter, aggressive, tough cookie, winning coach. I have a lot of respect for her.
Coach Reed, back here. I wanted to ask a question, and you made the statement at the SWAC tournament that this roster was fashioned in the model of a Power 5 team. Talk a little bit about how that came together and what you saw from the game against Baylor last year that kind of transitioned into this year.
After we played Baylor last season, when we lost that game, it kind of diminished everything we had done in the conference. It took away that experience. It took away that excitement. It took away that we were SWAC champions, because all the focus was on what we did in that game against Baylor. And so for me, obviously you want to get back here, but you want to have a better showing. You want to walk away from the table knowing, hey, we had a shot at that one. And so in order to do that, we had to amp up our recruiting. We needed bigger guards. I told my staff I want 6-foot guards. I told my staff I want big post players. In the SWAC conference, they play 4 guards and 1 post, and you're talking about the average height at the point guard being about 5'2", and at the forward position, the average height is about 5'9". Well, in order to compete against Power 5 institutions in the NCAA, you have to match them height for height, pound for pound. So I wanted my 4 players to be 6'2", 6'3", and I wanted my centers to be 6'4", 6'5". We signed a 6'5" post player that would have been great for us this year, top 5 player in the country in high school. We didn't get her eligible, but having her on a roster would have helped tremendously. But with that being said, the other players match up well. The Deja Woodard, 6'2" post player. LaMiracle Sims, who's athletic. She's 5'10", but she's athletic and she's strong as an ox. And then you have, Maya Crump from the University of Houston, who's extremely tall and athletic and tough and aggressive. And you match them with your Deja Rogans, Player of the Year last year, when Amisha Williams, Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, back to back to back. So you match that and get that chemistry for them. That's one heck of a team. And I think, they understood the assignment early. We want to do something that's never been done. And they knocked on that door early in preseason against those Power 5 institutions. Now now we're hoping to knock that door down.
I have a couple, just a follow-up to that one. How many of the girls are new to this year's team?
We have 6 new players. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, that kind of blows my mind. 59-4, I think, is your record in the SWAC over the last 3 years. So to add 6 new players, how did it work? How were you able to keep that consistency?
That's a great question. The demands were high. The expectations never lowered. And the returners understood that success is what we breed. And, we have to get to the tournament. We can't go backwards. And so when you're constantly preaching that message early in the season, the newcomers have to get it. They have to understand. In order to be something special, it has to work. We have to all fit. And so I think our players did a great job in translating that message to our newcomers, and our coaches did a great job in them getting that message that, we are here to win. You are here to win, and we have to figure it out. We have to get together. We have to play together. The chemistry has to be there. So I think that helped. The team helped itself, making that connection with the new players.
Hey, Coach. First of all, congratulations on being here. LSU comes in, they won 8 of 9, you won 21 in a row. How confident is your team coming into this?
I think our team is extremely confident, but I think the word that I would use is poised and comfortable. I don't think it's an over-anxiousness that we saw last year. I think it's here we go with another opportunity. Not saying this is the NCAA. This is another opportunity to accomplish something we set out to accomplish in our goals that we set early in the year. We had 6 goals that we wanted to accomplish. We accomplished all except for one, and that was to beat a Power 5 team. So I think right now they are extremely comfortable. They are poised. They are solid, and they are prepared. And going 21 wins in a row, I think that lights some fire under them as well to keep it rolling. We have something to run off of now.
Coach, the players talked about being a little jittery in that game last year against Baylor. Have you seen a change in the mental toughness through this season? Have you seen that built upon?
I have. This is a really special team, you guys. They have a lot of mental strength, a lot of mental empowerment that has happened over this season. When we won the regular season championship, I said, all right, y'all, we're gonna cut the nets down. And they were like, nah, we'll cut them down at the SWAC tournament. And I said, wow, that's a big statement. And I was like, we got to get there. We'll cut them down at the SWAC tournament, Coach. So I said, well, y'all take those nets down and bring them to my office, and I'll get them some pieces off of it. And they went to the SWAC tournament and did just that. They won. They cut the nets down. We celebrated. But when I got into the locker room after the game, it was no overly excitement. They were relaxed. They were on their phones. They had their hats on. The trophy was just sitting on the side. Not a whole lot of pictures going on. That's after they threw the cooler at me, by the way. And I saw a lot of composure. And when I gave my spiel, I said, y'all, it's just something left in your tank. You just look like you're on a mission for something else. Just the same look I got after the regular season championship is the look I got after the SWAC championship. It's something else we want to go do. And so this is just a really, really, really special team.
Coach, she might not be 6 feet tall, but she's been very effective for you. I think she's listed at, 5'4", Deja Rogan.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about her play and what it means and what she brings to the team when she's hot and consistent?
Deja Rogan is a major piece to the puzzle. She is, I mean, everybody sees her offense. For me, it's the defense. When she's in the forefront defending the way we need her to defend, she just sets the tone for the entire team. And sometimes when you're such an impact offensively, when your offensive game isn't going the way you want it to go, it tends to disturb something else. And so we're constantly telling her, you are great on both ends. If one is not going right, do the other. And she has her moments, but what I love about Deja Rogan is that she's extremely resilient. She bounced back extremely fast. She doesn't stay down too long. And when she's up, she's up. When she's hyped, she's hyped. When she's down, she's not there long. She's a major piece to the program. And, you know, going into the SWAC tournament championship game, she had not been having the best games offensively. And I just sat and talked to her. I said, what offense do you like? What do you want to run? I said, now, we run this offense for you. You hadn't been coming up ready to shoot. And she looked at me. She said, Coach, I just want to get my team involved. And I said, all right, well, I need you to get involved too. So she's just a great sport, and she understands what it is that we need for her to do. She's such a key person to this team. We played 2 games without her, and I thought I wasn't going to make it. But we were able to pull it out, and I saw the team grow. We needed the team to grow in those 2 games. But when she returned when we really needed her. We didn't have our point guard. She was injured. She had to play limited minutes in that game. We were down about 10 to Arkansas Pine Bluff, and she came off the bench and gave us a great 17 points with limited minutes. And so she is a very, very, very important piece to our puzzle.
Quick follow-up to that. Can you talk about her dealing with an injury and you and your coaching staff kind of keeping her involved, keeping her confident? So when March Madness, when you guys did make the NCAA tournament, she's ready, she's confident.
Yeah, I told Deja it's more important to have her later than now. You know, we were able to play. We played 2 of the toughest games in conference without her. The toughest 2 games we played without her. And I told her I really wanted her to focus on her rehab. I wanted her to focus on her therapy. I wanted her to be okay. The only thing I was worried about is her next. I was never worried about her at Jackson State. I was worried about her missing opportunity to play professional basketball because the injury she had was a 4 to 6 week injury. I said, Deja, you sit out 4 to 6 weeks, that's the entire season. And her and our athletic trainer worked extremely hard. They did a lot of rehab. I mean, they were in the gym early mornings, late nights, and she just pushed through to get better. And so, you know, I'm just really proud of her and her efforts and how hard she worked to get through that injury.
Coach, let me ask this question. And year in, year out, when we get to March Madness, one of the prevailing themes when a lower seed takes on a higher seed is physicality of the game, playing through the physicality. And I wanted to ask about the mental toughness of this team in terms of what they've seen in the preseason and throughout the season in terms of preparing for the physicality of tomorrow.
Well, you know, going against, you know, a top 15 team in Texas, playing Arkansas, a very gritty, tough, aggressive team. Ole Miss was really tough. And, you know, Mississippi State was really tough, and Mississippi State really, really got amped up for that game. And they were just real physical. It's just a lot of physical, tough play in the SEC. I'm watching film last night of my players, and I'm looking at how we're coming through screens and getting knocked off those screens, and they just played through it. As we prepared for those games in preseason, and as we prepared for LSU, we go up against guys, and you know we have a practice squad that we go against. We do a lot of toughness drills to get the girls tough. We don't call calls. We'll play a scrimmage game and miss the fouls on purpose. And so, I think that they are prepared for that physicality, and I've told them to expect it. You have to expect that, because that's the name of the game. And I'm just watching the officials throughout the tournament and how they've been calling the calls in the tournament, and it's been a very, very fair NCAA tournament thus far. They're letting the players play, and that's what you want. That's the consistency that you want. And so I think they're real well prepared for this physical play that LSU will give us tomorrow.
We have time for one more question.
Hey, Coach, were you aware that President Joe Biden picked Jackson State to win this game tomorrow?
Joe knows. Joe knows. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm just ecstatic. That's more national attention for our program, and obviously, I love that respect level. I mean, really, that's huge, and so I'm very appreciative of that.
Coach, thank you for your time. Jackson State will practice from 4:30 to 6. The first 15 minutes will be open to the media. And once again, Jackson State will take on LSU at 4 o'clock Saturday. That's the second game of the day, as Missouri State will take on Ohio State at 1:30. Coach, thank you for your time. Again, congratulations and good luck. That's going to wrap up press conferences from Baton Rouge today. We'll be back on Saturday with post-game press conferences following both games. Until then, a recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Have a great evening, and thank you for joining us here in Baton Rouge.